Anna, once a respected xenoecologist of the 7th Guild, now lay broken beneath a sky that burned like a furnace. The world around her was nothing but endless red sand and cruel, blinding light. The Guthind scavengers had taken everything, her ship, her research data, and her crew. As punishment for resisting them, they used an ancient and brutal method. They dug a deep pit, forced her inside, and packed the scorching sand tightly around her body with careful precision. Now only her head remained above the surface, like a dying fruit left under the twin suns. Buried up to her neck, Anna closed her eyes and prepared for death. The outcome was simple physics. The blazing suns would slowly bake her during the day, while the freezing desert nights would drain the last warmth from her body. Thirst was no longer even a feeling. Her body was too dry to crave water anymore. She had cried until the tears turned into crusted salt on her skin. She had screamed until her voice faded into a hoarse whisper. Now there was only waiting. Her head drooped forward under the weight of exhaustion. Her captors had mockingly left a wide-brimmed hat on her head, giving her a tiny circle of shade. But even that small mercy would not save her. Eventually, the pressure of the packed sand would crush her chest until she could no longer breathe. She almost welcomed the end. Then a sound broke the deadly silence. It wasn't the skittering of desert beetles or the whisper of the wind across the dunes. It was a voice, low, rough, and completely unfamiliar in its rhythm, yet clearly intelligent. Hey, can you hear me? Anna's eyes snapped open. Standing before her, blocking one of the blazing suns, was a tall silhouette. It was a bipedal figure wearing a rugged sand-colored environment suit. The reflective visor showed her own haggard face staring back at her. The voice was human. She knew the species only from guild bulletins, chaotic, unpredictable beings capable of both strange kindness and unexpected violence. Humans were not supposed to be anywhere near this sector. She tried to speak, but her tongue felt like dry clay. Only a weak croak escaped her throat. Okay, the human said calmly. Don't try to talk. Just blink once for yes, twice for no. Are you injured anywhere besides being buried? Anna blinked once. The human knelt beside her, moving quickly but without panic. My name is Leo, he said. I'm with an independent survey team. We picked up a distorted guild distress signal. Took us a while to track the source. He began digging not directly around her head, but several feet away. From a pack, he pulled out a thin, flexible tube. I'm going to give you some water, he explained gently. Just a slow trickle. Don't gulp it. He placed the tube against her lips. A cool liquid touched her tongue. It wasn't ordinary water. It was thick with nutrients and electrolytes, life itself flowing into her body. Every cell screamed with sudden desperate need. She wanted to drink it all at once, but the tube allowed only a slow, careful flow. Leo watched closely. Slow, he murmured. Too fast and your body could go into shock. After a minute, he removed the tube. Now the difficult part, he said. The sand is packed too tightly. If I dig from above, it could collapse on you. I have to dig in from the side. It might feel strange, but you'll need to trust me. Anna blinked once. She heard the scraping of a tool behind her. Something flat and wide, carefully cutting into the sand. Slowly, the pressure around her upper body began to shift. The Guthind do this, Leo said while working. It's their signature. Means they've already taken what they wanted and left a message. The guild usually refused rescue attempts against Guthind territory. The risk was considered too high, but Leo wasn't guild. He was just one human working alone. Hours passed as he dug patiently through the dense sand. As the suns climbed higher, he set up a reflective canopy to shield her head and continued giving her small doses of nutrient fluid. All the while, he talked calmly about the mineral composition of the dunes, the strange weather patterns, and how he traced her distress signal. His voice kept her awake, kept her alive. Finally, the sand around her chest suddenly collapsed away. On 3, Leo said with effort. 1, 2, 3. He pulled hard. The sand resisted, gripping her body like claws. Pain shot through her as the grains scraped against her skin. Then, with a final sucking sound, the desert released its prisoner. Anna collapsed into Leo's arms like a puppet with cut strings. He laid her gently on a thermal blanket. Every muscle screamed from hours of pressure and immobility. Leo carefully brushed the sand from her face and checked circulation in her limbs. You're lucky, he said softly. Another hour and the damage could have been permanent. He carried her across the dunes to his vehicle, a bulky 6-wheeled rover that looked like a mechanical insect. Inside, the cabin was cramped with equipment but wonderfully cool. As the rover began moving through the desert, Anna finally managed to speak. Why? Leo glanced at her, his calm gray eyes visible through the lifted visor. The signal was there, he replied simply. And you were alive. The guild wouldn't have come, she whispered. Leo shrugged slightly. I'm not the guild. At his base camp, a small modular habitat built against a rocky outcrop, Anna slowly recovered. Leo explained he was a solitary prospector searching for rare isotopes. His only partner was an AI named Mo. He had been alone on the planet for 8 months. Days passed. Nutrient gel turned into real food. Strength returned gradually. Leo gave her space but always watched over her quietly. He even helped salvage data from the damaged systems she had rescued from her wrecked ship. One night, beneath a sky filled with unfamiliar stars, Anna asked the question that had been troubling her. "You risked your life," she said. "The gut hind could have returned. Why help a stranger? A xeno?" Leo poked the heating unit thoughtfully. "My people have a saying," he said. "Leave no one behind. It started in the military, I think. But it means more than that." He looked up at the stars. "It means a person isn't something you abandon in the sand. When you hear a cry in the dark, you answer it. The universe is huge and cold and quiet. If someone calls for help, you answer. That's what makes us human." Anna thought about it. The guild acted through logic and cost-benefit calculations. The gut hind ruled through cruelty and domination. But this human acted because of a principle. Illogical, powerful, completely alien. "You're not what the bulletins say," she told him. Leo smiled faintly. "They probably say we're loud, messy, and sentimental. That part's true." When she was strong enough, Leo helped her build a new beacon from salvaged parts. "It's stronger than standard guild models," he explained. "Your people will find you." "And you?" she asked quietly. "I've got a few more ridges to scan," he said. "I'll stay until they arrive." The day the guild shuttle finally descended in a cloud of dust, Leo stood beside her at the edge of the camp. 2 guild officers stepped out, their expressions a mixture of surprise and bureaucratic curiosity. Anna turned to Leo. Words from her culture felt too formal, too small for what he had done. Instead, she simply placed her hand on his arm. "You answered," she said. Leo placed his hand gently over hers. "Someone always should." As she walked toward the waiting officers, Anna no longer felt like a victim rescued from the desert. She felt like a messenger carrying a story the guild would never truly understand. When the shuttle lifted into the sky, she looked back one last time. Leo stood beside his rugged rover, a lone figure against the endless red dunes. He raised a hand, not a dramatic farewell, just a simple acknowledgement. As the desert faded below, Anna leaned back in her seat. She had been buried in the sand, a finished story waiting to end. Then a human voice had answered the silence, not with heroics or glory, but with simple determination. And in answering that call, he had not just pulled her from the ground. He had reminded the universe that even in its vast, indifferent emptiness, a single act of stubborn kindness could rewrite the ending of a life. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.